Welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Dee Dee and this is Randy, and we are bringing you some adoptable animals from Frederick County Animal Control and Adoption Center on Rosemont Avenue, as we do every week. And we are starting out today with our first guest, Max. Max, as you can plainly see, is a big black cat. He has very pretty white markings, and he's about 4 years old. He is neutered already, and he was owned by someone who had to give him up because the landlord said she couldn't have pets. And that's one of the frustrations that people in Frederick have a lot. A lot of us with pets have moved in order to accommodate our families, including our pets, but not everyone has that luxury. So landlords have some power over you, and of course it is their right and responsibility to keep their property the way they want it to be. But for some reason, pets have the reputation of contributing to the use and destruction of property, which if your pet is well cared for just isn't the case. There's always going to be scratches and dents when you live someplace, but cats are not going to add much to that, especially if you're a responsible owner. But in any case, Max ended up here because the landlord said no, and he is a lovely cat with lots of experience living with people. He likes people. Actually, he wants to get down and walk around in this room. He's not worried or nervous about it. So I think that he will make someone a great pet. And as you probably all know by now, we have profiles that the owners fill out of anything they can tell us about what their cat likes and doesn't like, so we can pass that on to you. So if you think that Max would make a good match for your family or someone that you know, then come by and meet him or share his picture on Facebook, or you can email it to somebody who might like to meet him, and you can find his picture on petfinder.com. This is Mr. Bubbles, and Mr. Bubbles is all black, an adult male cat. He's only a year old. He hasn't been neutered yet, but we're going to take care of that for you. He is still almost a kitten, and as Randy pointed out off camera before Mr. Bubbles was ready, this is my favorite kind of cat. All black, big male cats tend to be, in my opinion, outgoing and friendly and make really great family pets. I have always had one, and we do have another cat at the shelter named Bubbles, a female cat, so this one is Mr. Bubbles, just in case you want to come by the shelter and ask to see him. And because he's only a year old, he's still pretty active and kitten-ish without being, crazy. And he right now is struggling with his roommates upstairs are kittens, little kittens that dangle their feet down and bother him. So he really needs to get his own place, and hopefully someone out there watching can help him out with that, because he's a nice cat that was given up because his owner moved and was not able to take him along. And that's more of the same story. All of our guests, all of our feline guests on this episode are male cats, and all of them have lost their home through reasons, reasons not their fault, where landlord said no, people moved to a place where the landlord said no, or simply they got lost from their family. And a lot of times we call the lost cats stray cats, and that's not really fair, because when we get neutered adult cats that are super friendly, we know that they're not stray cats. They are lost, they belong to somebody that we never are able to find, and so they need a new home. And in Mr. Bubbles' case, his owner was responsible enough to bring him here rather than allow him to get separated from her. And so he is in need of a new home. And he has the best of both worlds. He's still kittenish enough to be outgoing, adventurous, and he can learn plenty of things, but he's mature enough that he's not going to be, crazy like the tiny kittens that we have, which, by the way, if you are up for tiny crazy kittens, we have plenty. We get about 1,200 kittens between April and October, and now is the busy kitten time, which makes it a little harder for someone to choose an in-between cat. This is Smokey, and Smokey is also a 1-year-old male cat who had an owner and was given up because his owner had to move someplace where cats are not allowed. And it is unfortunate that when you rent, you are at the mercy of rules imposed by the property owner. But one of the things you can do if you want your pets to be allowed is you can bring a reference from your previous landlord that you were a responsible pet owner, your pets didn't do any damage. You can offer a security deposit just to secure to the landlord that if there is any damage unexpectedly, that it would be he'd be reimbursed for that, or she. You can also, in the case of dogs especially, but even cats, you can get a letter from your veterinarian that says your pet's in good health and that they don't see any reason why the pet would pose a problem. But if you go to that extra effort, sometimes you can convince, and I have convinced landlords to let you have your pet. And it is especially possible if you're not going against a large management company that has blanket rules for everyone. When you rent from an individual that you can talk to and explain that you're a responsible pet owner. And I've had the very positive experience of having landlords switch to allowing pets after having a good experience. So it is well worth the effort, especially if it allows you to keep your pet, because cats like Smokey don't have to worry because he's a friendly, healthy cat and we're going to be able to find him a home. But a lot of times people have older cats, cats with moderate medical issues that they manage just fine at home, but it's very hard for us to find a home for a cat that presents with some issue, like extreme shyness or a slight medical problem that requires medicine. So if you have healthy, friendly pets, we can, aside from the volume of those that we get, we can usually find homes for them. But very often people are giving up pets that have some special needs. Smokey has no special needs other than to be loved and treated like the cat that he is. And as you can see, that would involve lap time and neck scratches. So if you think that Smokey would make a nice match for you or someone that you know, come and meet him or pass this picture around. That always helps us out too, even if you can't adopt yourself. This is Turtle, and Turtle is another young male tabby cat. He is about 2 years old, and he came to us as a stray cat. And I would say he definitely was with people prior to coming to us because he's so friendly. But often that can be just people who were feeding him and playing with him and caring for him. A lot of times cats maintain 2 or 3 homes in a neighborhood, and no one really knows until the cat disappears that he actually belonged to someone else as well, or no one really looks for him when he disappears because they assume he was someone else's cat all along. So these loosely owned neighborhood cats can get in trouble when seasons change, during a storm, or if somebody moves away who was helping them out. So Turtle came to us from a concerned citizen who brought him in, saying that they determined really he doesn't belong to anyone, even though he's friendly with everyone and hangs around. So Turtle is here looking for his own family so that he won't have to worry this winter. He's a really pretty cat. They're called orange tabbies or ginger cats, and they can be male or female, but they're primarily male. And it is one of the favorite colors of people's childhood pets. Everyone probably remembers having a tiger cat. So if he brings back memories or you think he would make a good match for you or someone that you know, then please come by the shelter and meet him. You can share his picture electronically, but I forgot to say, you can go on Pet Finder and just print his profile and hang it up at work if you're allowed. There are a lot of ways that you can get the word out about the animals in need at our shelter on Rosemont Avenue. We are the only shelter in Frederick County, but there are other rescue groups that operate as well. So if we do not have the pet that you want, please ask us about other groups, because they don't have a shelter building, but they have pets in individual foster homes, or the Animal Welfare League actually has a little storefront over by the fairgrounds. Pet for Pets goes to Petco on near the Golden Mile every weekend. There are rescues that take animals to the PetSmart at the south of town, and there is an adoption center in there they call the Love a Pet Center. Sometimes one of our cats is there, but other rescues house their cats there all during the week so that you can go by there and see adoptable pets. There are a lot of ways to find out where the pets are. This is Oscar, and Oscar is also a red tabby. He is also about 2 years old. He is also a stray cat, but he came to us with his short-haired, probably sibling. We're calling them Oscar and Felix. They came to us already neutered and very attached to each other, traveling together. Pretty sure they belonged to someone who lost them, and we were not able to find their owners. So they are available for adoption separately or together. The great thing is that because they're both the same age, his possible sibling since they're the same age, the same color, and the same size, we think that they're brothers, but we'll never know for sure. But his brother has short hair and he has longer hair, and that is very possible in the same litter, very common. And they are both red tabbies. The nice thing about adopting them both is that they really like each other, and since they were lost together and stayed together, pretty good sign that they enjoy each other's company and will throughout their adulthood. And sometimes people want to get two cats. Not every cat wants a roommate. Not every cat likes to share his space with another cat, even if they really like people and dogs. So Oscar and Felix can be adopted together, and then you'll know for sure that, that they've made the choice to stay together while they were lost together. If you're interested in any of the cats that you've met today, please let us know, because we get about 3,000 cats a year, and it is hard to find homes for all of them. If they are healthy and friendly, we keep them as long as it takes. They don't run out of time, but it does mean we can't make room for cats that maybe have a little more of a struggle getting adopted. Cats with issues, cats that are maybe too shy for homes with children. So these guys need to be adopted so we can make room for more. And Oscar and Felix are available now, as are all the cats you met today. But we also have other pets. Don't forget, we have rabbits, we have guinea pigs, we sometimes have birds. Last month we had a chinchilla. So if there is a pet that you're looking for, we even sometimes get snakes, so you never know. Bearded dragons. If there is a pet that you want, let us know. If one of the cats you've seen today interests you, please come and meet them and all of our other cats. And we're going to take a short break and come back with some adoptable dogs for all the dog people out there that have been patiently waiting.
Before, addiction and depression kept me from living my life. And now, every step I take in recovery benefits everyone. There are many options that make the road to recovery more accessible. It begins with the first step. Join the Voices for Recovery. For information and treatment referral for you or someone you love, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Live with a human for a while and you get to know a few things. Like, I know she's actually not a morning person. I know she does strange tricks for no treats. I know that water makes her howl like crazy. I even know how the floor stays so clean. She's quick. But the one thing I will never for the life of me know is how she gets so tiny and inside that box. dogs. Natalie, how do you get so tiny?
We are back with Kane, and Kane is a 10-month-old pit bull mix. As you can see, well, in a minute you'll be able to see, he has beautiful, beautiful markings. He is white with a dark brindle, and sadly, I have given him this very slippery rug, which is a little bit hard on him on the slippery floor. Kane is just a puppy, so we're going to take 4 applications and find the best match for him, but he was already in a home where he's used to the family routine. And his family brought him to us because, again, moving. They're moving to a place that won't let them have Kane. And it's kind of a sorry story for pit bulls right now, or any dogs that are mixed or big-headed, because landlords are very concerned about a Court of Appeals decision that makes it possible to sue a landlord for something their tenant's dog does. So it's unfortunate, but it makes landlords reluctant to let people have big dogs, especially dogs with a big head. As you can see, Kane already sits when you ask him to. He likes food. He's very biddable, but he's not as rambunctious and bold as you might think a 10-month-old puppy is, and that can be a very good sign if you want to adopt a dog that's going to be biddable and smart. But it is also a sign to consider that he's not the kind of dog that just loves everyone and goes to everyone. Now, a lot of times you will hear people say that you shouldn't play tug of war with pit bulls, and that's false. The best way to teach any dog to use their mouth appropriately is to make a game out of it, a game that they want to play. He wants to play tug of war, so if he is too rough with Randy or too persistent, then Randy simply stops playing the game. And it teaches the dog in very meaningful ways to him, how can I play the game that I want to play with people? By being gentle, by being responsive, and by listening. So although people will tell you, what I've heard people say is, you're just teaching the dog to use his mouth against you. But it's actually not true. You're teaching him to use his mouth in a way that you say is appropriate to get what he wants. And that's a really helpful way for, it's found something on the floor. So that's a really helpful way for you to teach a dog how he should play. Kane, you just found something really good. So this is an example of using games to help your dog understand what you would like him to do. So if you think that you are up for a big, robust puppy who has good manners and sits when you ask him to, then Kane might be the puppy for you. Come by, meet him, bring the whole family, see what you think, and we will talk to you about what puppies need to be integrated into your family. Rocky is our next guest, and he is a 4-year-old beagle who is passing up food in order to smell the floor. A lot of beagles are very food motivated, but they are more motivated by what they smell. And Rocky can smell every animal that's been in here for probably the last week, even though we have cleaned every day. They are very good at finding out what's been in the room. The thing that Rocky's doing right now, a lot of people have seen beagles do, it's called a reverse sneeze. I'm serious, I did not make that up. It is called a reverse sneeze. You can look it up in a veterinary medical dictionary. And it is because they can't blow their nose, and it has to do with their soft palate touching their throat. And it's very common in Chihuahuas and beagles, and it is not harmful in any way. And you can ask your vet about it if you're worried, but it is something that a lot of dogs do. So Rocky's not neutered yet, but we're going to take care of that before he is adopted. Because he is 4 years old, he's fully grown. This is as big as he's going to be. And beagles are sort of long-lived, so they can live 13, 15 years. So he's got a long time left to give to a family that chooses him. And one of the things that people like about beagles is their affinity for humans. They really like people. And one of the things that makes people not get a beagle is their affinity for humans. Because they really like people, they'll go with anyone. They love everyone. They don't necessarily make a good watchdog. They do make a good family pet. But because they like everyone, you do have to have a fenced yard or keep your beagle on a leash, because they'll just go down the street and move in with your neighbor and then come back on the weekends. They really like people. So they see people in the hallway. He already wants new opportunities. So people really like beagles because of their sweetness, and that is definitely something that, that Rocky offers. They're also vocal. He's not doing it right now, but if they smell something and get excited, they have like a little bugle bark. So they need to, you need to have that in mind, that they bark when they're hunting. Oh, and because they really like people, you'll see a lot of this, you know, rolling over to get the belly rub. They make a good lie by your feet at the fire dog inside, but when they're outside, this is a hunting dog. They have lots of energy, and they like to go and do and smell everything. So really nice kind of dog. If you think that Rocky would make a good match for you or someone that you know, or someone that has other beagles. Some beagles really like each other, and they make good dogs to have in a group. Then come by the shelter and let us know, or share his picture around and see if we can't find Rocky a home pretty soon. This is Anna, and Anna is a 4-month-old pit mix puppy, probably mixed with some kind of retriever as far as we know. She is beautiful, a beautiful little white dog with a little bit of tan markings. She likes food, and sometimes people say, well, all dogs like food. Sure, they like food at their meal time, and they like food when they're comfortable. No, Anna will eat food even when she's a little nervous. And the reason this is a good thing is because it means she's going to be easy to train, because it will be easy to relax her by offering her treats if she's a little nervous and getting her to approach things. And it will be also easy to motivate her to reach for things that are a little bit hard for her to figure out, because she wants a cookie. And oh yeah, Randy's just saying for her young age, she's very good on the leash. She handled walking through doorways and hallways very well. When she got into here, she was a little worried about the slippery floor, and she did great. So Anna is going to make someone a great training prospect, because she's very interested in people and food, which makes it easy to work with her. So she already will, she has the idea of sitting when you show her a treat. She certainly doesn't do it on cue yet. That's something that she's going to work on. Because her interest in people is so high, she hasn't really been taught to come when called yet, because all you have to do is look at her and she comes to you. So she will need to work on coming to you even when something is more interesting. But that's all part of having a puppy. And when you come in and talk to us about getting a puppy, especially one this young, then we'll tell you all about things that you can do. She knows that I have these. And we also have a litter of pit mixes in the shelter, 5 of them, that are a month younger than she is. So that means that if you even want to go for a baby, and she knows that Randy's pocket is full of pepperoni as well, that we have baby pits available as well. We also have, which you're going to meet in a minute, 10 Chihuahuas here, and we're going to bring one of them on for you to meet. So a lot of times people say, wow, you have a lot of pit bulls there. Sure, we have a lot of pit bulls, beagles, Jack Russell Terriers, and Chihuahuas, and a lot of mixed breeds of all kinds. And, all gone. And so we probably can make a match for you that will work. And Anna, I think, is going to be a great training prospect, as I said, because her motivation and tail wag says that she is all about people and learning new things. So a very nice puppy. This is Teddy, and Teddy is 1.5 years old and a little boy poodle. He definitely is going to look fantastic once his fur grows out and he gets groomed properly. But until then, he has the puppy haircut, and Teddy is a lot younger than he looks because his fur is a little dirty. So he doesn't look as white and nice as he's gonna look once he's allowed to have the full poodle effect. We don't get very many poodles here at the shelter, and we do have a wish list. And there were some people that told us they wanted to be called if we got a poodle, and we did that. And they came in and said, meh, Teddy might not be the one for them. So he is cute and sweet, moderate amount of energy, which is good because, you know, poodles run the gamut, just like all dogs do, from very quiet all the way to agility star. So Teddy is going to make someone a really nice pet. Now, what Teddy is doing, we talked a little bit with the Beagle about reverse sneezing. That's not what Teddy's doing. That's Teddy's trachea. He's pulling on the leash, so he's coughing because he's making the leash get too tight on his throat. So, Teddy is also not neutered yet, but we're going to take care of that before he goes home to his new family. So if you are interested in a poodle, then please come in and talk to us. Addison is a little Chihuahua mix that was dropped off in front of the shelter in a big crate when we weren't open. So, and there were 10 of them in there. So if you are interested in a Chihuahua, now's the time because we have so many to choose from. But what I suspect, and we're not going to know for sure unless we find out, or we're able to find out who dropped off the dogs, but what I suspect is that someone had some Chihuahuas and maybe a terrier, and they had puppies, and then in struggling to get them all spayed and neutered, the puppies had puppies because they're all between 1 and 2 years old. They all look like they're at least primarily Chihuahua. And I mean, she looks like a little meerkat. There's no cuter dog, how she folds her ears back. And Randy said when he went to get them, they both wanted to come with him, the two that are together. So they really like people, but they have the typical Chihuahua shaking and begging behavior that makes them just so endearing. And Chihuahuas have a unique skill of appearing afraid, whether they are or not. And sometimes they are. I'm sure she's nervous. She's not been in this room before, and we're strangers to her. But Chihuahuas also have a skill that they use, which is to shake and appear subordinate and submissive because it draws human caretaking behavior. We pick them up, we hold them, we keep them warm, we pet them, we feed them because they're so cute. So they definitely, I have one part Chihuahua at home that if he gets in trouble for anything will tremble because that definitely makes you not be mad at him, and he knows it. So he can do whatever he wants, and when you reprimand him, he shakes, and then you're sorry, and so you let him do what he wants. So if you would like to adopt one of these tiny little dogs, please let us know. If you know someone who is interested in adopting, but maybe they've never been to the shelter, then you may want to encourage them to go to some of our events this fall. We're going to be at Walk and Wag and Strut Your Mutt, and we're going to be at In the Streets. And there are plenty of places where you can go and talk to us and see pictures of animals that we have without coming into the shelter. Thanks for joining us on Pet Pals. We hope you'll join us next time when we bring you adoptable animals from Frederick County Animal Control. If you are interested in sharing this episode of Pet Pals, there's a link at the bottom of your screen to do so. And you can also help us out by liking us on our Facebook page and by sending pictures of adoptable pets from petfinder.com out on your social networking site. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you next time.